It is a holiday weekend. I'm super excited about that because that means no early wake up. Hopefully that's what that means. I still have a younger child or whatever, and she still likes to get up at whatever time she gets up, but it should not, and I repeat, it should not be at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what it is, y'all, but lately I have been getting up every morning at 3 o'clock or whatever. And I was already like becoming an early morning girl. And when I say early morning, prior to my hysterectomy, I was getting up at 4 to be out of the house by 4:30 and getting into the gym by 5. So with that being said, now I'm getting up at 3. And I'm like, God, are you trying to tell me that I'm becoming a 4 a.m. girly? Like, what you trying to tell me? Because what is it giving? So, let me see. I want to create something. I don't know. I don't know what. Good morning. Welcome to my live. I'm sitting up here creating this chat or whatever. Yeah. So I'm about to get my day started, and being an overthinker that I am, I'm sitting up here wondering like, how am I gonna get this done? Because I gotta go to. Thank you, thank you, Christopher. I gotta do my grocery shopping, and I also want to go check out some things that I saw on Walmart's website that I really liked. But I'm not supposed to be lifting anything beyond 5 pounds, so it's like the bittersweet moment of realizing like during I need my kids, but then I also enjoy shopping without them. Okay. No, we're not doing all this today. Um, yeah, so sounds good. I'm about to go to the library and to doing real estate. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, the library near where I live at, I'm in Georgia. I love their libraries. We often go there. It's dope. They have like a whole study section, a little private area and everything. Good morning. Good morning. Where's everybody from on here? Good morning. Is it a holiday weekend for some of y'all? Good morning. Good morning. No. Oh, you're in Chicago, Big Ten. Chicago is where I would like to get to coming up for my birthday. I'll be turning 40 this year, so I want to potentially go for my birthday. However, I don't want to go around my birthday. And I know that might sound crazy, but my birthday is in December, and I heard that Chicago's weather is crazy, so I don't want to go for that reason. Or during that time, but I want to go for the nightlife, the food, and all that. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so I'm trying to get like my little list together. I did order a couple things. I recently had a procedure done that I'm not able to, like I said, lift or anything. Good morning. So, with that being said, not having my kids is like I could have had them lifting everything, but um, we don't do inappropriate things on this channel. Uh, okay. Oh, so my daughter's birthday is October 9th. So Libra, that is. Watch your inappropriate comments or you will be blocked. We don't do that over here. I thought I blocked you. Like you must got several pages. Uh yeah. There we go. Y'all, I ain't even got dressed yet. I got on like my night clothes still. Like, I'm still trying to convince myself to go out. From Italy. How's the weather there? I was watching somebody's blog who was not from Italy, and they were saying that it was like gloomy all the time there. Damn, you look good. I did just wake up. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll be 40 this year. That's a compliment. I take that. What is your favorite part of your culture? Family. Like our get-togethers, us hanging out and everything, celebrating everything. Like and even to extend on the family aspect of it, I would definitely say like our family does not take anything serious at all. First of all, God, this is what they on here to do is to get reactions and to get response, and you're not gonna get it today. Yeah, so I don't plan on being on here too long. I was about to get into my Bible reading, so I just wanted to come on. You got veneers or some shit because their tooth look brighter than the moon. I do not. I actually have my retainers in. I had braces several times, and you gotta wear them retainers or your teeth will start to shift. Good morning. Have a wonderful holiday weekend as well. Same to you. Are y'all doing anything this holiday? I'm supposed to be having my mom come into town. Um, she will be here tomorrow. She's coming from Alabama. I live in Georgia. And she's going to be helping out with like my kids and everything since I had a hysterectomy. Yes, your name is. Yes, good morning. Well, if it's morning in your area, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. No response needed, just compliment. You come fix my hair. S- You come fix my hair if it's a problem with you. I'm going out with my mom as well. I'm in North Carolina. I have a friend that lives in North Carolina. That is somewhere where I definitely want to visit as well. We took a girls trip to South Carolina, and when I tell you South Carolina has some of the best food I ever had in my life, love it. Thank you, SM. Yes, I'm from the US. Thank you. Thank you. Do you follow my channel? Hey, cousin. Cousin, I gotta get you as a moderator because, girl, the people just be saying anything. Hi, from last to first. Hi, I'm good. I'm great. I feel very blessed this morning. I was saying that I want to get out and go to Walmart. However, I did just have my first post-op appointment with my doctor, and she was telling me I need to be taking it easy. I just had a hysterectomy, so I really just want to go to the store and shop without my kids. But I'm like, what if I find something? I mean, I guess I could ask like the people that work there, but if you know anything about Walmart, Walmart sometimes only be having 3 people working in there. What is a hysterectomy? So a hysterectomy is when you have, well, I got a total hysterectomy. So I had my uterus, my cervix, and fallopian tubes removed. I had fibroids, so it was causing me to like have heavy cycles. Thank you. Have a good day. Enjoy your holiday weekend, sunshine. Yeah, so it was causing me to have heavy cycles and everything like that. It caused me to be anemia, like have anemia, and like I would pass out and stuff like that. So when we found out what the root of the problem was, knowing that I was not going to have any more kids, that was what was suggested. So, oh, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. You have sleep apnea. So you wake up feeling tired all the time too. Like from what I understand, like with sleep apnea, like isn't it where you might not be breathing at some moments in time and stuff like that? From what I understand, I'm a whole woman. I still have my ovaries. I'll be 40 this year, so they didn't want to like remove my ovaries or whatever. Yeah, I feel like I don't have sleep apnea, but I do know that with me being anemic, like I don't feel like I ever get like the proper rest. Like I toss and turn all throughout the night. And from what I understand, like your blood is like what gets your organs and everything breathing. My sleep study said I saw. Wow. So do you have to sleep with a, what is it, a CPAP? Excuse my terminology. I don't like, I'm familiar with some of the things, but I know that, what is it, a CPAP machine or something like that? Good morning. Thank you, Cardell. Is it Cardell? Yeah. So I just wanted to come on real quick. I'm not going to be on here. Best way to fix sleep apnea is to lose weight and to work out regularly. Now, I ain't say that. I was reading the comments. I did not say. Thank you, cousin. Yes, thank you. Because I don't know what you look like. I haven't gotten a CPAP yet. Just did the study a couple days. Well, good. I hope my insurance. And they should. You know what's so crazy to me? And I don't want to offend nobody. Trust me. This is not. I was watching somebody on TikTok and they had did a full transformation. Like it was someone, thank you, Cuban Smith. It was someone that had went from being a woman to was transforming into a man or whatever. And she was saying how she had endometriosis. She, and sorry y'all, I hope that's what she's okay with going with. I don't know her name or her page. She just came up on my For You page. But she was saying that she had endometriosis, PCOS, she had a whole bunch of issues, and she said that the insurance would not cover it. But when it came to her transitioning, she lived in California, by the way. They paid 100% of everything. She didn't have to come out of pocket for anything. Like, I think that that is crazy. Like, you can't get proper health care so that you can feel like a greater you, but you can pay 100% of everything to become someone or something else. Will you marry me? I'm a very handsome man. Um, I don't know how to answer that. Like I told you on my birthday in September. No offense to you. I believe in marriage. I love marriage. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting my watch. I believe in marriage. I love marriage and everything. But I also have 3 daughters, and I'm very selective as far as like who I'm even around and everything like that. So for that reason, we could be friends. We could be friends on YouTube, okay? So just say I'm not a woman and they will pay for it. Right. That was crazy to me. I once watched a truck transform into a robot, vice versa. Transcars. You got a good point. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. It was. Y'all done ran somebody away, y'all. I just seen a message come up saying it was too many crazy people in your comments. And this is why people don't be want to go live. I'm glad that I'm in happy spirits, good spirits, and everything because people be off the chain. Like when y'all, and I'm not talking to y'all, but anybody on here that be saying crazy things, what be on your mind? Y'all don't have nothing else to say. Y'all don't have nothing else to do. Like what really be on? I be thinking that, like when I'm on social media and I see people comment like on people's posts and they say the most hateful, like we are all dealing with silent battles out here, and you just never know. You might send somebody over the edge. You are a very funny man. I'm not even denying that. The fact that you got on here and even asked, like, it's hilarious. I'm watching it live from India. Yeah, I'm in the US. We could be pen pals. It don't give. It don't give. Husband and wife. I'm sorry. Please support me. How can I support you, cute brothers? You are Virgo. I am not a Virgo. I'm a Sagittarius. I was born December 13th. But I have a lot of Virgo friends. Y'all are something else. I will say that. Please, please for me. Cute brothers. Hi. How you doing? DJK, can I make a suggestion? You said you're a very funny man and all that, or whatever. Why don't you take them little mean faces off your profile? Or is that like how you attract people to your page, your platform, and all that other stuff? Cuban Smith. I have a lot of friends that are Tauruses as well. Um, I'm friends with everybody. I just say that. I don't feel like Sagittarius really has like anybody that they don't get. Well, first of all, I serve God, so I love everybody. Yeah, what are y'all getting into? Anybody cooking out this weekend? Anybody barbecuing this weekend? Please, please. I don't. Cute brothers. I don't even know what you're saying. I don't know what all that means, honey. I only speak one English. I ain't even take Spanish in high school. Like, I don't know what you're saying. I can't help you if you can't even help me understand what you're saying. We mess your Sagittarius mess your heads up. That may be the. I got 2 Boston butts already seasoned and injected. Oh, that sounds good for rack ribs, baked beans, and some devil. Okay. Okay, partner. Let me ask you how old you are, cause you said like you sound like somebody my age or older. The fact that you prepping already now. I hope you heal well. Hope you're. Thank you, thank you. From last to first, let me just say this. I had a it's already people on here that's inappropriate. So, but I'm just gonna ignore them and I'm just gonna be transparent. I had a vaginal hysterectomy, which I didn't even know was a thing. I had it done laparoscopic by the robot method or whatever. And even when I woke up from after having a surgery, I just felt good. Like I didn't feel like anything happened. So when I went to my first post-op appointment with my doctor, I was like, are you sure you did anything? And she was like, yeah. She showed me like the paperwork and everything like that. Thank you. And I was just like so amazed because all the research that I had done, whether that be on TikTok or YouTube, I was just thinking to myself like that I was going to be in excruciating pain. And what she said was the method that she used on me was the less invasive and can cook out. You probably can outcook my mom. I ain't even gonna contest that. You know, I recently just told my mom this. I was like, Mom, I don't think that I was a picky eater growing up. You just couldn't cook. And that was no shade or offense to her because my kids eat everything that I eat. Kids eat Brussels sprouts. They eat everything that you would think growing up you did not like or eat. My kids eat. Yeah, may I ask you why you chose to get the operation? Yes, the Diamond Sky. And I have like full in-depth details on my YouTube channel. So if you want to subscribe, you'll be able to get notified about the updates. I just got it done on August 16th. So I'm still going through the process. I'm still learning things as I go. But the main reason why I got it was because I was having heavy menstrual cycles. And it was causing me, like, as you can tell, I usually have a lot more color, but I'm very pale. Thank you, Cuban Smith. I'm very pale. I had like these dark circles. I experienced like dry skin in my T-zone area, and all that's like, no big deal. But my iron levels were so low that it even caused me to like pass out and everything. So when I was going to the doctors, I lived in Delaware. So when I lived in Delaware and I was telling my doctors, like, I'm tired all the time, I can't get adequate rest, so forth and so on, they were telling me, oh, it's normal. Some people are just anemic. Some people just have low iron, like just really brushing me off. So when I moved to Georgia and passed out, they come push your feet up. I'll fix your put. Y'all are something else. When I was getting my lab work and everything, the doctor, not knowing my background, not having my medical records from Delaware, was just like, oh, you need to go see like a specialist. You need to go to like a hematologist. And I'm thinking to myself, like, are you concerned with me being anemic? Because girlfriend, I've been anemic all my life. You tripping, you getting all worked up because of my iron levels or whatever. And I really like took it, like I brushed it off like the doctors had did me back in Delaware. So, are you on any blood boosters? No, I'm not on any blood boosters. And I even asked, like, when I finally got in touch with like with a hematologist here in Georgia, I asked them, I was like, should I be taking any iron supplements? And they told me no, they didn't want me taking any iron supplements. They went straight for the iron infusions because they was like, as low as my iron was, there would be no supplements that would be able to get my levels to what they needed to be. This was like the quicker method. And they said that sometimes the iron pills cause more problems than anything. Like they cause you to be constipated, they cause you to have hemorrhoids and stuff like that. So they didn't want me doing that. And I wanted to know, like, okay, well, once I get on the iron infusions, like, will I forever have to use it? Like, how do I maintain my blood levels? And I'm glad that I asked that, which I don't feel like I got the proper answer to, because last year is when I started doing my first round of iron infusions, and I had to go to 4 in order to get my levels to a normal level. But because I was still having heavy cycles, every time my iron levels would go up, they would come back down because of my heavy cycles. So in essence, my doctor did like an internal ultrasound and everything, and she found that I had fibroids on my uterus, and that was what was causing me to have the heavy cycles. I'll bring you some Waffle House. You deserve it. I'm a breakfast person, Cuban Smith, but I like to cook my breakfast at home. I have so many friends and everything that, like, you know, from the outward appearance, you'll think like they're healthy and everything. They just found that they got like high cholesterol, and I'm trying to determine like what's different about me that stands out from them, like what's going on with them. And the main thing is they eat out all the time. Like when you eat out all the time, and I'm not saying that you do, but I prefer to cook from at home because then I know what oils they're using. Like it's a lot of things that on my anemia journey I have eliminated from like my household, my diet, processed sugars, things like that. So yeah, no offense to Waffle House. Like every now and again, like that is something I might splurge and definitely pray for. Your story gives me the lady that I believe. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yes, thank you, Diamond Sky. Yes, when I tell you, you never really know what a person is going through. Like when I tell you I would eat ice all the time, like things like that. And even when it would be that time of the month. Now, what I don't like, or what I heard about a hysterectomy, and if anybody's on here that has had one, maybe you could tell me if this is something you've experienced. But a lot of people have been telling me that they still have like the PMS symptoms. Like during that time of the month, even with my kids, y'all, like I'm very joking, like I'm very playful with my kids. If you've seen any of my family content videos, you see like me and my kids are a whole vibe. But when it's that time of the month, you better read the room. You better know when I'm playing, and you better know when it's time to get out. And I'm trying to be more mindful of that. Now, when I say PMS symptoms, I'm not referring to like having the menstrual aspect of it, but still like the cravings. Like when it's that time of the month for me, I am grouchy. Not intentionally. I just feel like I'm very irritable. But I be wanting carbs. I be wanting did you also have an extreme belly pain? I did not. From last to first, I did not. That's what I'm saying. Like when I had my surgery, and I'm sorry, I get excited. So I'm not getting rude or anything like that, but I get passionate about talking about women's health and all that other stuff. But she didn't go through my abdomen. She did everything vaginally. So when I went to my appointment on Tuesday, I think it was, I was like, what quality? You didn't even tell me, doctor. I was like, you didn't even tell me you was doing that. Like, why don't I? And like after my procedure, they said, you know, for me to wait 24 hours before I took a shower or whatever. So when I get in the shower, you know, those first couple of days, you out of your mind from like the medicine and everything they put you on. A friend of mine, because she has really painful periods every month, I would tell her, okay, so let me finish, because then you could share this information. Or I also just recently posted a video yesterday. You can share this with her as well. The good thing about me is I never had painful periods. I never had cramping. And my oldest daughter, who's 15, she sometimes gets like the cramping. And me being around her, even though I'm not with her 24/7, me observing her when she's home, you don't drink enough with her. Like, I I would ask her, like, is she making sure? Like, we always think, oh, I drink water, I drink water. I'm like, girl, I seen you drink 2 bottles, 2 16 ounces a bottle of water. That's not enough. Like, I feel like when I would drink and eat things like that would help out. Maybe that's why I didn't experience any cramping, but I definitely had my God, what a beautiful I don't know. Oh, they must be talking to you from first to last. They said you must be, you're a beautiful brunette. She is, but yeah, I don't think she was drinking enough water. Water definitely is key. I was having a heavy cycle, so again, when I went to my doctor, I knew I was scheduled to have a hysterectomy. All the research that I had did to like wrap my mind around it was based off of like people that have had the C-section entry hysterectomy, or they had the abdomen where they would go through their stomach. And all of these methods, to my understanding, can be done with a robot or whatever. So when I woke up and they told me that I had a radical hysterectomy and the surgeon left me in pain so bad my children took turns watching me in the hospital. I'm so sorry you experienced that. I'm so sorry, because and that's what I said, like, I wanted to share my story because I had never heard anybody that got up feeling the way I did. I wouldn't say I have high tolerance, because when I started getting my iron infusions, y'all, I would be in there crying. I don't like IVs. I don't like any of that stuff. I do not say that we do go through a lot. Eve had to eat that apple. I don't understand. It all started from that. Yeah, so it's called a laparoscopy, where they use like a robot to perform the procedure or whatever. But it was I had a vaginal hysterectomy. So everything, with my 2 kids, I had a vaginal delivery. I did not have any C-sections or anything. So I said to my doctor, I said, what makes a person eligible? Because mind you, I didn't even know. When I woke up after my surgery, I was like, where's my uterus? Because I don't think y'all did anything. Like, I felt loopy out of it, but I was waiting for somebody to come into the doctor, like in my room, and say we weren't able to perform the surgery for whatever reason. Because I woke up, I went to the bathroom, I didn't have the sensation. So like, a lot of people that I saw their story said that they had to, try because they didn't have the sensation that they had to pee. But them just being out of it, them just being pumped up with fluids, they knew they had to like release. That was like one of the credentials in order for, or whatever. So I was like, let me just go try. I said, let me go in this bathroom. Let me cut this water on, because I wanted to get home to my kids or whatever. So they were like, no, you did have a hysterectomy. You got to take it very easy. Within a couple days, I'm getting a call. Oh, what happened? I hope y'all still on here. I was getting a phone call and it's not timing. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I was getting a phone call. Yes, get your wife some flowers. I know that's right, Cuban Smith. Yes, come through. But yeah, so I went to the bathroom by running the water or whatever, and they had like this little measuring cup or whatever. Not like a cup, but it was like a little bowl that they put inside the toilet. And they measured, and then they did an ultrasound on me after that. And they were saying that I didn't release everything. They could still see that my bladder was still too full for me to be released. So I'm like, well, let me go back to this bathroom and try again. Like I said, I didn't have the urge to go. But if y'all telling me it's something in there that's going to make me go, then I'm going to go back in there and run that water. And I was able to go. So right after that, they released me. So when I met with my doctor this past week or whatever, I was telling her, I was like, doctor, you did a really good job. Like, you did a good job. I was like, I was expecting to be in so much pain. I saw so many people say that after their surgery, they had trapped gas that escalated up to their shoulders. I was like, I didn't have any of that. And she was like, yeah, you had a vaginal hysterectomy. She said it's a less invasive. So like I was saying before, I was trying to figure out so that I can communicate to other women, and or as well as my channel, since I was sharing my process and my journey on here. I said, what would make somebody a candidate or whatever? And she basically told me it really just boils down to the doctor. So if your doctor had you, and then they also had your mom 20, 30 years ago, they might not be up in the know as far as the technology that exists today. Um, so with that being said, she was like, a lot of hospitals also do not want to invest in getting a robot that's going, because it's a lot of money. It's very expensive. She was like, they don't want to invest in something that might just be sitting there collecting dust. So it just really boils down to the doctor. She said that she prefers to do the method that she did on me first. She said, because when you have to cut someone open, it is going to be painful. It is going to require more downtime and everything like the heal, which makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question, or you could relay that to your friend. First comes last. I hope I said your name. I don't know if you got kicked off when my phone glitched or whatever, but yeah, that was my experience, and I had no idea. So, my advice to anyone that is thinking about getting one, I'm not, of course, an advocate for anyone, and I'm going to go back and respond to some of y'all. But if that is something that you're thinking about, go get multiple opinions. See what ways and methods that these particular doctors do it. I'm not going to say that everybody is a candidate, because I also asked that. I said, well, she said she prefers that way. And if she's not able to do it by a vaginal hysterectomy, then they do the abdomen, or then they might have to do. So it just depends. Some people, when they get in there, they might see that they have scar tissues from other things. They may have endometriosis, things like that. So it may be other factors, but I definitely never knew anything about this. I only knew about the abdomen. Now, somebody said, so no more kids. Cuban Smith. So I am a mother to three daughters, by two daughters biologically. I, growing up, I never wanted to carry kids. I love kids. Love, love, love. I always said growing up that I wanted to adopt or whatever. I ended up having two kids. After my second daughter, I ended up getting my tubes tied. And I think that I did that out of fear, if I'm just going to be transparent with you. Um, because my first pregnancy was so bad, it was so horrible. My second one was easy breezy, like no problems, no morning sickness. I do got a big head. I get it from my dad. But thank you. Yeah, I didn't have any morning sickness or anything like that. And I had to end up getting emergency surgery after my first daughter, because for some reason I was hemorrhaging. And they would keep saying, oh, you got to get up, you got to get up, you got to get up and walk. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling like I would have hot flashes and stuff like this. And my oldest daughter, I had her when I was like 24, I think. So that was my first pregnancy. I was scared to death to have a kid after that. Like, I was trying to do everything. I didn't even gain no weight due to a cancer tumor by the I don't know what you're trying to say. Um After she got her stomach open where she can't have babies anymore. Yeah, so I knew after my second daughter and I got my tubes tied that physically I didn't want to carry any more kids. Now, my youngest, I've had her since she was 2 days old. I'm actually going through the process of finalizing the adoption with her. So, yeah, I love kids. I just don't want to go through that experience of childbirth anymore. Thank you so much. Well, I hope that is the case. I think that we can all be an inspiration to a lot of people. In fact, when I came home, I found out in November that my mom had fibroids. So when I came home from the hospital, I have like a group of my support system. I have a group of girls, including my mom, that I tell and share everything with. So when I was like, this was my OB at that time, was my first OB in Georgia. And I always go to the doctors. Like, I'm one of those type of people that I use my benefits, I use my insurance. So when they did the internal ultrasound to see like why I was having heavy cycles and everything like that, the doctor was like, nobody ever told you had tell the adoption people. I said, you was a good mom. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, y'all. Um, yeah, so the doctor was like, nobody ever told you had fibroids. And I'm like, no. And I called my group. Like, when I tell you my people, like, my one friend, I've known her since I was in the fifth grade with her or whatever. And I'm like, girl, you know for a fact. Like I had a moment during the pandemic where I had like memory fog. I lost like my memory when it came to certain things. And I'm like, certain things I'm gonna know about my body though. Like, I never told you that I had fibroids, right? And she was like, no. And I was like, yeah, that's what they're telling me. So that was in October. In November, I was already being scheduled to have a myomectomy done. And that was where, and I went with that route first, the less invasive, because I didn't know anything about a hysterectomy. I didn't know anything about a hysterectomy. Everything that I ever heard about a hysterectomy was like from a complaining standpoint. Oh, you go into menopause and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is menopause? Like, I grew up from a mom who did not share or talk about anything. So when I came home and I told my mom being one of those women that I shared my fibroid diagnosis with, she was like, oh, I had them. I got my tubes tied at 21. And I'm like, it would have helped for you to tell me this or whatever. So being who I am, I'm very transparent. I share everything, but I just feel like each generation is a little bit different. I've never been married before. I have not. My mom and dad were married, but they got divorced when I was like 2, I think my mom said. So I don't even remember my parents being together. I do have an amazing relationship with my dad. We lived in the same state. My dad was my mom and dad at some points of my life. Like my dad, anytime I got sick at school, anytime I was on prom court, he was a very active, he was a provider. I just lived with my mom. Like my dad ended up having, it's a total of 4 of us with my dad, and it's a total of 2 of us with my mom. So my mom is my mom and my older brother, and then my younger 2 siblings. We all have the same dad, just different moms. So, and we all have a close knit relationship. The family dynamics that I instill in my daughters, I have 3 daughters, 15, 11, and 5, comes from my dad's side of the family. My mom is a loner, she's an isolator. My cousin was on here. I don't know if she's still on here. She will pop up here and there, but for the most part she likes to be alone. And I feel like growing up, like those are the type of things that shape who you are, and you don't know to do anything differently until you start to have and raise your own kids. Now I will say that I have as we being transparent here, okay? Ain't no shame in my game. Like I said, things don't happen to you but for you to talk and communicate with other people. I have a great relationship with both of my kids' dads. I do have 2 different baby dads or whatever. And both of them came from married households. Like mom and dad still married. My youngest daughter, her grandmother passed away, so but had she still been here, they would have still been together. So leading up to that, like if y'all got any more questions, I'll definitely check and be willing to talk about that. But I said all that to say, like I was just thinking about like the Cam Newton. I don't know if you guys, you don't look like you got kids. Thank you. My daughter would be very mad if she heard you say that. Like when I gotta go up to her high school, I was in the office one day, and of course I was dressed. I went up there and thought to myself I was being presentable, and I do believe in God's touch. Yes. Um, I went up to her school, and the kids were walking by. She didn't know I was up. She didn't know I was at the school. So I just heard kids walk by and they looked out and they was like, damn, she looked good or whatever. So I was like, and my daughter was like, that's my mom. And they was like, that's your. I don't know what's going on, y'all. Every time I get a phone call, like, I'm still here. Hold on. Let me see. It should come back in. So it's timing, but my video is paused. I'm sorry. If y'all could hear me, your mom, my wife, had a thyroid problem, but my wife ended up having a tumor in her stomach because we found out too late. I'm so sorry to hear about that. And see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know your wife's situation or her story, but like, I'm so grateful that. What am I doing? Okay, maybe that's switching. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna say you look very outstanding. Thank you. I'm trying to get back on here and talk to y'all, but it's still frozen for some way. Hold on, let me see if I gotta. Thank y'all for staying around. If I ever freeze, so because this has happened twice now, just bear with me if you are on this live because we're discussing things. Just bear with me. My phone was ringing. I don't know how to. Maybe next time I'll try to go into do not disturb. I didn't think anybody was going to be calling me now, but I do apologize for that. I'm sorry that your wife had to go through with that. That's the one thing that I don't like is that when I was living in Delaware, I was passed along and just brushed to the side. And I didn't even want I remember them putting me on birth control to like help with my menstrual cycles because I was having like the heavy bleeding. And when I tell y'all, I had a migraine every single day. I'm not even exaggerating. I had a migraine every single day to the point where I'm like, something's going on. I'm 10-year old. I get no support from my family. Can you please give me a shot? What's a shout out gonna do if you ain't getting no support? I'm gonna give you a shout out though. Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Um, but I don't like that they don't try to get to the root of things. Like they just want to be quick and just put you on a medication or whatever. I don't like that. And I ended up kept switching doctors because I'm like, it's enough doctors in here. If I'm not going to be seen, if I'm not going to be heard, if I'm just going to be looked at as being another number or whatever, I gotta go to where I'm going to be seen and heard. And I remember finding this doctor in Delaware, and I'm going for my migraines. I had a CAT scan. I had so many different things done on me, and when I got in this doctor office, the very first thing before I had anything, like this was my very first meeting with this doctor. The doctor said to me, "Did you just recently get put on birth control?" Because I've always had a history of migraines. But this particular time, it was every single day. I had to get on FMLA because my migraines used to impact my eyes. Like I would get like circles, like spots and stuff. Like I couldn't see. I would have to be in a dark, cool room in order to function and everything. So it was causing me to miss work. And I'm one thing about me, I go to work. I work, I provide for me and my kids and everything like that. So I couldn't understand what was going on. So she was like, "Did you recently get put on birth control?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "What's the name of it?" As soon as I told her, she said, "Stop taking it." From that moment that I stopped taking that birth control, I ain't have no more headaches. I wasn't even active. If you get what I'm saying, I was just taking it to help out with my menstrual cycles. That's what they gave me to like, my cycles were not late. I didn't have any cramping or anything like that. It was just heavy cycles that would drop my iron levels. And then when I met my hematologist, a hematologist specializes in blood disorders, blood infections, things like that. Anything that's going on with your blood, you go to a hematologist. So you might have to, in order for me to get in with my hematologist, I had to have blood work done. I had to have a doctor refer me to a hematologist. They're considered a specialist. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but that's how it was in Georgia. So many people have reached out to me saying that they were anemic and what to do and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I never heard about an iron infusion. Never, ever, ever in my life heard about an iron infusion until I moved to Georgia. So although I started having moments of like missing my family and everything, my mom lives 5 hours away from me. My family is in Delaware. My dad, my support system, all of them would have been there dropping my kids off at their sports activity. Their dads would have been there being involved. And that's a part of me that I just wish that I would have been more spiritually mature. You don't know some things until you are in those situations. But that's something else that I like to try to talk to women. I feel like when I got pregnant, I really think that I may have been going through postpartum, and I'm not gonna say I was fully to blame, but I definitely played a part in like my breakups and everything. And now that I know better, you do better. One thing about me, when I had my kids, I was already a hard worker, but I became a hustler. Like me just being able to provide my kids with food on the table, clothes on their back was not enough for me. I want my kids to go to Disney. I want my kids to go on a cruise. And that's what became my focus. So then I would look over and I'm like, looking at who I had a relationship, like, you ain't working the way I am. Like, you ain't putting in the same effort. And like I said, one thing that I admire about my dad is my dad is a go-getter. I've never known my dad to not have a job, not to be employed. I've never known not to be able to call my dad and have his help and assistance. Never known that. Even though I was not raised in the same household. So yes, my kid's father is still in the picture. And sometimes you just gotta accept responsibility for your choices and your decisions. Um, and take accountability. And that's what I did. Like, I can't change my child's father, and it's more so my oldest. Like my youngest daughter, her dad, we're not together either, but we're best of friends. It wasn't always like that. After a breakup, people get immature and things like that. But we had to remember how we got to this point. And once we started remembering to put the kids first, he helps out with my oldest if need be. Like, they come here, my kids go to Delaware every summer, so it definitely is a lot better now. But when you come or you're surrounded by certain people that make your behaviors acceptable, you start to believe that what you do is okay. And now that I know that my part wasn't the best part to play, I could take accountability. Like I was getting ready to say earlier, do you still low key make? No. I live in Georgia. They live in Delaware. And one of them, you couldn't even pay me. Like I said, we on good terms and everything. But there's still things that this ain't that. Facts. It took my wife bring me back down to earth and focus on her. Yeah. And then that's the other thing too. Like, in my first pregnancy, like I said, I became very tunnel vision. I've got very in depth into my work and everything. I just wanted to provide my daughter with this other life and stuff. And both of my kids' fathers came from a two-parent household. Now the difference is in because I took psychology in class. So what I'm realizing is, like, my oldest daughter, her dad, he was the youngest out of three kids, right? There's a huge age gap. Like, I want to say his mom had him, she might have been 38 years old. I didn't notice that first. Both of my kids were their dad's first kids. Okay. So you don't always have red flags. Let me just say that. So when I got with my first baby dad or whatever, he was spoiled rotten. He was working because you was trying to impress me. But I've been at the same job for 21 years. Once I got pregnant, it was like he wanted to be up under me. And I'm like, you ain't got to work today? It was always an excuse. And I'm like, that's a turnoff to me. Because now we didn't got an apartment. I'm not getting ready to take care of no grown behind men. Yeah, I have 3 degrees. I was the first out of my family to go to school and everything. Because again, that was something that I wanted to be. I can't sit up there and preach to my kids to do something that I've never done. Or I can't want my kids to live through me and my experience. And that was another thing that I had to tell my oldest dad. He wanted my daughter to run track so bad. And I'm like, go back to school. You get your GED. You go back and live. She ain't got to do things to please you. Like, one thing that I even told my kids was, you don't have to go to college. I went to a vocational school. Like, I learned business aspect, things like that. The things that I learned in college, I got so much in student loans that it's ridiculous. And I'm like, y'all and I was a straight A. I was in honor classes and everything. So I told my kids straight off the bat, you don't have to go to college, but you got to have a plan. You ain't going to be living with me 30, 40 years old. I moved out when I was 18 years old. I don't believe in putting your kids out when they reach a certain age. But if you ain't doing something with your life, my whole life is not to take care of y'all. You get to a certain age and it's time to, And I'm a homebody, so I can't even sit up there and say, "Oh, Stella got her groove with that," because it don't give that. Like, I find joy and peace in going to church on Sunday, going on solo dates, doing things like that. Like, but she comes like like it's a complete difference between my oldest and my middle daughter. Like my oldest think that she the princess. She come home, she lay down, she don't even like I have to remind her, as far as this household, we're gonna serve the Lord, we're gonna go to church every Sunday, and you gotta come down to this table and you're gonna eat dinner with us. Like that, I ain't sit up there and slave and cook all day for you to just be up in your room in La La Land. But then when you want me to support you or you want something, then you want everybody to show up. So this ain't that. But I was very attracted to them coming from two-parent households, that I just thought that, like, okay, this is going to be me changing generational curses. Like, this is going to be a step to marriage. But I also find that marriage is not something you do. And those of you that are married on here, you can agree with me. I was so immature. I had so many people telling me how great I was, that when I got with my second daughter, her dad, he came for my jugular, y'all. He humbled me in ways, and not even so in like a bad way. I can appreciate it now. And I'm just like, I would get offended because I'm like, damn, ain't nobody ever told me that. Like, you the only one feel like that. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, it was very well received and very well needed. Now, I didn't receive it then. Like I said, I grew up in my mom's household. My mom never said, "I love you." My mom was not a hugger. Like, I was not an affectionate person. To a man, if you just like, or you turned off by different things other than when you in that bedroom, that could be a problem for a man. You get what I'm saying? But I had to do the work. That was one thing. Happy birthday. One thing about me was when I moved here to Georgia and I was in isolation outside of like my kids being with me, I did a lot of work on myself. And I realized that a lot of times I was the problem. I don't know how I got here, but hey, well, welcome. Yeah, so that's something that I try to tell people. And one of the things that clicked to me as well was, I don't know if y'all seen the clip of Michelle Obama when she was talking about like the first 10 years of her and Barack's marriage. She hated him. She was like, she would be at home with the kids. When she was saying it, I was picturing myself. I'm at home with the kids. I got throw up all over me. I done worked. I done completed my schoolwork. I done graduated by this time. You come home smiling, skinning and grinning. Just came out from playing cards or whatever, because they are not like club men or whatever. But that caused me to hate them. Like, that caused me to like really resent them. And I'm like, I ain't dealing with it. I came from a single mom, a very independent mom. I remember my mom having 2 jobs and stuff like that. So once I got pregnant, I was like, I ain't dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. And now that I look back, I'm like, your kids are only small, but for so long. Like, had I had a chance, now I ain't even gonna lie to you, I would give my second baby dad another chance. Like, that would be something that I would pursue, because we have the same morals and the same principles. Me and him, even though I don't have any issues like with, I think both of them have like the utmost respect for me because of how I'm raising our kids. But I always use the comparison. Me and my first baby dad, we share a child. Me and my second baby dad, we co-parent. If you get what I'm saying. If you need a definition or something like that, and let me know. Because there's a difference. There's a huge difference. My middle daughter, she plays volleyball now, and both of them usually go to Delaware every summer. But this scares me, still reminds me of our past. Okay, let me see. I'm still separated from my wife, but we keep in contact healthy for the sake of our daughter. And if you don't mind me asking, was there a reason? Because nowadays I don't feel like, hi Amy, congratulations on your pregnancy. Yeah, so coming from somebody that is not with either one of my kids' father, I don't think that you should just stay with somebody because you are pregnant or that y'all are having a child. Um, but I do just this is something that I always tell people. If I had somebody tell me this, the light bulb would have went off for me. Because like I said, the light bulb went off for me when I heard Michelle Obama. And I'm thinking to myself, like, once my kids hit 8, they started doing things for themselves. Like making their own cereal, getting themselves dressed. Like, granted, I still got to take them to their doctor's appointments, conferences, things like that. But your kids will get to a certain age to where they don't need you to do as much as you're doing for them when they are infants, when they are toddlers. And if you think about it, people that like you hear about being married, they've been married for 39, 49 years and all that. Most people, like I said, I was 18 when I moved out of my house. Had I been married or had I stayed with my baby dad, those everybody's gonna have seasons. Even when you are married, you're gonna have seasons to where y'all blink can't even stand each other. Y'all avoiding each other. Like you going to bed so fast, ain't even tired because y'all are avoiding each other in this season. But seasons don't last long. Like you get what I'm saying? So if I could sit up there and tell anybody that, like, women are 9 times out of 10 the ones that change when you get pregnant. Like I said, men are pretty much low key. They don't require much. Like they are happy with however things were and however things are. They are very uncomplicated. It's us that be making things complicated. It's us. And when you realize that, I'm not going to say we are always to blame. Sometimes men, even watching like the Cam Newton, they pry on certain people. And let me just say, I don't feel like a low functional woman. I don't feel like a low value woman. I don't feel like that at all. I feel like I'm a high value woman. I feel like I have control. I get to choose and I pick who's around me. The things that I learned in my 30s ain't gonna be going along. And let's just be honest, everybody's not meant to be married. But I wasn't a wife when I was a mother to my kids. I wasn't a wife when I was with their dads. I feel like that's something that has to be in you. And as I got stronger in my religion and my faith, I'm a Christian, I started realizing like some of the things I say can tear down a house. Do I want my kids going through the same trauma that I experienced as a child? I feel like everything happens when it's supposed to happen. I was an alcoholic and she was ready to move forward. I broke out. And I'm sorry that I'm reading this out loud. I don't mean to do that, but I know other people could see your comments too. I broke out. But now it's due to trust issues. How long were y'all married? If you don't mind, I think you said 9 years. Would you say that due to her tumor, were you there for her during that time? Or were you so, and I'm not saying this in a way to judge you, I'm just trying to get better understanding. Were you going through your addiction? Because that's essentially what alcoholism is. I come from a family that is not good with finances. So I'm very particular about where I spend my money. I come from a family that is very into drinking. So I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do anything like that. So it's like certain things that can be, girl, the true facts, God is, amen. So you had kids before you, I did have kids before I got married. I didn't, that was like the norm. Like now that I'm in, well, she cheated, but I'm so loyal. And in the word, she came back to me because it was for. No, I don't have anything. I drink a mocktail real quick. And I used to drink. Don't get me wrong. I used to drink. And my hands would swell up. I didn't like how I felt. I felt like I was just doing it to do it. I feel like I'm one of those type of people that I'm not... I don't condemn anybody. I feel like I have such a good spirit. I'm a good vibe. I'm a good time and all that I don't need that. Like, I feel like I light up seeing other people laugh and smile that I didn't like who I was. Like, it did nothing for me. And then, like I said, being as though I came from lineage that would abuse money. Like, I'm sitting up here looking like this bottle $38. I'd rather go ahead and cook a meal with that. Like, I just couldn't wrap my mind around everything that comes with those type of habits. Still to this day, 8 years of marriage, I'm happily married to her. Remember, for the sake of your daughter. Oh. Well, let me just say that people make mistakes. And one thing that I learned, I'm not excusing cheating. I'm not excusing any of that. But you got to keep in mind, for some people, cheating is not a non-negotiable. Some people don't feel like that's enough to give up on a relationship. And I understand that there may be trust issues, but were you an alcoholic prior to getting married? Like, was this something that she knew? Do you feel like she had silent expectations of wanting you to stop? You would save me a lot. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm very, and that was where me and my second daughter dad bumped heads, because he's such a provider. He would sit up there and send money for school clothes, or he'll go shopping and he get her all designer and all that. And I'm like, listen, this is years ago. My daughter's 11. Okay. So listen to where y'all, I see where I went wrong now. But back then I was saying I could have got more outfits with that. Like, you spent all that on that one outfit. Like, that was his first child. I should have let him shop for her the way he wanted to shop for her. But I will say that once I went and I was coming home and all that, and I'm like, I only spent this, like, we were a team. And he's like, your mouth a little bit too slick for me. Like, you say a little, you got a little too slick with it. And I just couldn't find myself where I went wrong. And I don't even want to say I went wrong, but one thing that I didn't like about myself was I went after my dreams. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I was single. Even though we had a child together, I was single. I went after my dreams. During both of my pregnancies, I was in school. I have an associate's, I have a bachelor's, and I have a master's degree. And I ain't never let nothing stop me. I bought my house. When I sat up there and said, I don't want to keep renting. Like, rent is going to go up every year. I will put them little bugs out there. But if you ain't moving, I'm going to go ahead and get this house. So a lot of times somebody looking in would be like, oh, you didn't consider his feelings. You didn't consider his input. You didn't consider different things. But do y'all see what I'm saying? So it didn't resonate to me until I was having a conversation like with his dad, and he was just saying like he worked all the time. His mom and dad were still married, and he was just talking about how like he missed his wife because she passed away. And she was saying, he was saying that one thing that she used to always dislike about him was that he never considered her. He would come home and be like, oh, I seen this new TV and I want to go ahead and get this TV or whatever. And she like, why are you telling me? He said that all the while he would be telling her things, he thought that was his way of considering her feelings. And she was like, it's no point in you telling me, because you want to do what you want to do anyway. So you were telling just so that you could sit up there and check it off your list. But Cuban Smith, we not advocating for divorce now. We got to keep families together, okay? However you want to look at it, I still came from a broken home, okay? Like, even though I had a great dad and all that, I still only saw my dad on the weekend, sometimes during the week, because I live with my mom. We not advocating for that. Keep that family together, okay? But a good example is Tiger Woods' ex-wife. She caused him to get a divorce. She cheated on him with many different men. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, let me ask y'all, do y'all get married based off of love, convenience? Like, what do people be getting married for? Because I will say that, I tolerated a lot. I wasn't willing to just give up or whatever. But I'm being See, Cuban, that was too easy for you to say. It's given you already had one foot in the door and went out the other way. Do you know actress? No, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. But truly, broken home brings out the best in everyone. back to the Cam Newton thing, right? So he kept bringing up the fact that KK, I know that's right. It's too many things going on out here in the world. Like, it's too many things. Like, if you find somebody that you can sit up there, grow old with, gray hair with, trip each other. I told you all play too much. Like, give each other wedgies and all that. Stick with that. Like, what y'all out here looking for? What y'all out here looking for? I did because my wife was genuine and I did. So, like with Cam Newton, he was saying, I think he said his mom and dad been married for 39 years, right? And they grew up in the church. You got 3 baby moms and 8 kids. And I'm not shaming him or any way, but this is like an epiphany that I had. What I liked in my 2 kids' dads was the fact that they came from married households. I'm thinking that you want to sit up there, fight it out, stick through. Those be the ones that don't get married. And I'm like wondering, like my grandma, God rest her soul, her and my grandfather on my dad's side were married for the longest time. And as I got older, I used to idolize their marriage. And that's why they say don't idolize celebrities and things, but they are still real people. Um, and I found out later on in life that like my grandfather had multiple outside relationships. And I feel like back in the day, men really girl, but I'm a neutral person in the aspect that I could sit up there and say when we wrong, and when I say we, I could tell my sisters, I could tell my girls when they wrong, and I could tell men when they wrong too, and it be received in a positive light. But I feel like men back then really tried to groom women back then to be the submissive wives and stuff like that. Like I cook every day. And my parents been married 54 years. And how long was you with your wife, Cuban Smith, before y'all got married? How long did it take y'all to get married? Because I might be proving my point. Now, I will say that both of my kids, my middle daughter, her dad has 2 other siblings, and only one of them is married now. And then my first daughter's dad is 3 of them, and only one of them is still married. 2 of them trauma caused change. That's why when children grew up in the system, they vowed to not raise a broken home. And I agree with you. I agree with that. But I'm wondering if, okay, so like I was saying, my grandparents were married for just as long, right? I've never known them being with anybody outside of each other. But later on, I found out that my grandfather had multiple relationships. Growing up, my dad was a womanizer. I remember I threw my dad a 50th birthday party. Okay. We being transparent. We done talked about y'all family now. Y'all might as well go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I love my dad dearly, dearly, but my dad has ways about him that I do not like. Okay. So at my dad's 50th birthday party, you got 3 women that you talking to, 2 of which I just met there. And for me to be a daddy's girl, that like broke my heart because I had my dad on such a high pedestal that I'm just like, I ain't letting nobody play with me. You get what I'm saying? So that's why like my mouth could have been determined to be reckless and things like that. But I always called a spade a spade. I don't even know how to play the game, but I always called things out. And I'm not just going to lay over, be quiet, or put blinders on. Now, I'm also the one that will leave. I'm not going to keep bringing up the same situations. Even when it comes down to my kids, I don't want to sit up there and say that like I'm hard on my kids. I raise my kids in a teachable way. So I might sit up there and be like thinking to myself, damn, like what made them do that? And as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm trying to think of a way to sit up there and say, in the future, you could have did X, Y, and Z. I try to create a teachable moment. But by the 5th time that I done taught you, now my tone changed. Like now I gotta sit up there and give it to you in a way that you can understand it. The very first time my daughter wanted to have a boyfriend, and I'm like, nah, you ain't allowed to have no boyfriend. She came and told me. And we dated for 2 years. And okay, 2 years ain't bad. I thought you was gonna sit up there and say that y'all was together. 2 years is not bad, Cuban Smith. I'm sorry that I'm thinking I was waiting. I'm thinking you gonna say y'all was together, and then was there any ultimatums in there and all that? My dad need to get somewhere and sit down. Okay, that's what he did ultimately get married, and I love his wife, and I still check and correct him about different things. I don't know the dynamics of how they are because they got married once I was already an adult, and they live in Delaware. So that was like one of the things that helped me move to Georgia to be here closer to my mom. I was supposed to be at Walmart, y'all. I was supposed to be at Walmart hours ago. Let me just make sure that it ain't time for me to get kids off the bus. But I came down here because my mom is single. I mean, she has a boyfriend, but she's not married. And I have an older brother. He never even came down here to visit. So I knew that God forbid my mom ever got older, couldn't do things for herself, I would be that one. Even though we don't have the best relationship, I'm still that person. Sometimes hurt people, and being as though I'm the one that she calls for everything, I had to realize that. You get what I'm saying? So that's what got me down here to Georgia, is to be closer to my mom. She lives in Alabama. I wasn't moving to Alabama. That's where both her and my dad come from. But yeah, like I felt like people don't do things out of trauma and out of fear, but I wanted to be married when I had kids. But I look back and I realize now, hi Jeff. I look back and I realize now that I would have ruined it. I would have ruined it because I was always thinking of, you could sneeze wrong, and it's a reason for me to leave. I didn't have that spiritual maturity that I have now. Now my whole thing is, once I find the best friend and the dynamics of the, and I may listen, let me be very clear, I'm not looking for it. I'm not looking for it. I don't feel like it's my role, my job to sit up there. I have not ever been on nobody dating site. I have a Facebook page that for some reason has, and God, I'm thankful, I'm blessed. But I have just started getting very serious about my content creation because I want to be a voice for people. And my Facebook page has started skyrocketing. And I address myself as being a solo mom, but I'm not, I'm still a single mom because I'm not in a relationship, but I feel convicted saying that because I got to give credit where credit is due. My kids' fathers are in their lives or whatever. Um, but with that being said, 98% of the people that started following me on Facebook is all men. So I'm like, I don't even like saying single because they be in my messages. Oh, you not gonna respond back? You not. This ain't that. Facebook got dating on there. I seen it, so I know they got it. So if you think you gonna come over here and this is that, I'm not in no rush. And one of my friends made a point to me that I never thought about it. She was like, "G," that's what my family call me, G, or my family and friends. My name is Geton. If you ever had a like, if you were ever wondering what my name said, it's all things Geton, and my name is Geton or whatever. But she was like, "You say all that now?" She said, "But that's because you busy raising kids." She said, "Once your kids get older, you gonna feel lonely. You want," and I'm like, I'm never opposed to receiving constructive feedback. So I understand why. I'm not judging anybody for getting on dating apps, pursuing relationships, or even looking for relationships. But I this ain't that. And I still feel like there is so much more work for me to do. Even though I could sit up there and say to myself now, how I'm raising my kids, I'm drinking water. How I'm raising my kids and everything, I can sit up there and proudly sit up there and say now I'm a wife. I just don't got no husband because I wanted something that was not in me back in the day, if that makes sense to you. Oh my God, I can only imagine and aware I'm from somewhere similar, but sometimes people. Yes, yes. And then sometimes people look at you like, They see all the good qualities in you. And even my mom said it, like, oh, I just want you to find a good husband. I just want you to find a good husband because I could cook, I clean, like I'm a homemaker and all that. And I'm like, you got granddaughters, but a relationship is something that's important to her. So coming from her, I understand where she's coming from. I try not to take offense to it. And one thing that I never thought about having my 5-year old, because like I said, I'm going through the process of adopting her. I've had her since she was 2 days old. I thought in my mind, yes, I'm raising her. My other two kids, I'm a single mom and everything. I never thought that she would have a void of not having a dad. You know what I mean? Like, I never thought that she would have that. So sometimes she'd be like, it's not all the time, but sometimes she'll sit up there and say, I wish you get married so I could have a dad. And that like breaks my heart. That breaks my heart because it ain't like, I wish we can go get ice cream. It ain't like something that I could hurry up and go do. And it's not something that I want to give to her. Like, I'm thankful that I have like men in my life that love my kids, that are positive male influence. But I never thought about that. Like, had I thought about it, I knew that adopting a child was always something that I wanted to do at a younger age. I thought about adopting a child way longer than I did physically carrying kids. And I have to tell y'all like my story one day. I don't know if I got time or if y'all gonna be around, but the situation was so different with my 5-year old. And I say that it was different because I didn't know her biological family. I don't still to this day don't know her background, don't know nothing about her. And I just remember getting a call from my friend, the one that I was telling y'all I've known her since we were in 5th grade with one another. So certain things, when you have a friendship that long with somebody, you remember being out on the playground talking about different things. Like I still remember my third friend from 3rd grade. I'm like, girl, your teeth so straight. Like you had braces before. And I'm like, you never had to get braces again. Why? And she was like, I got a permanent retainer. I never knew anything about a permanent retainer to that friend. So I say all that to say, my friend that I had since we were in 5th grade, she called me. And this was when we were in Delaware. And she said, friend, remember you was talking about adopting or whatever? And I'm like, yeah. I hadn't brought that up since probably I was in middle school. I wasn't even a mom when she brought this up to me. When she called me with this conversation, matter of fact, my tubes was already tied, right? Okay. So she was like, remember you was talking about adoption or whatever back in the day? And I was like, yeah. But it had not been like a recent conversation or anything like that. And she was like, is that something that you still would want to do? And I'm like, yeah, eventually. Like, I haven't thought anything else about it. She knows that I'm a very goal-driven person. But when it comes to like raising kids, that's not something that I would consider like a goal of mine. Like anything that I've ever manifested or prayed about in my life, God has done. He showed up and done. And a lot of times I might have to wait a year. I might have, it's not those long waiting. I feel like my single season has been the longest season that I've ever been in or whatever. And that is by choice. I'm a homebody. I feel like the only way that I could get into a relationship, like I'm gonna have to pass them in a store because I don't put myself in environments to where I even meet people. With that being said, I'm hot now. But so she was like, because my mom was contacted, and I'm giving you all genuine, authentic transparency. She said my mom was contacted because somebody she knows just had a baby, and the person is incarcerated, and they need somebody to come and get the baby, or the baby's gonna go into foster care. Now, how her mom got mixed up and how her mom was contacted was she worked for like a mental health facility. And when she retired from the mental health facility, she helped this same person with another child that that person had. And when I say the person, it's my daughter's biological mom. And because she was on paperwork helping out or taking in for a short period of time, my daughter's sibling, she's on a call list anytime that person has kids. I didn't know how that worked, but I just wanted to give y'all like the background of that. So they called my friend's mom, and she was down in Georgia at the time because that particular friend, she lives here in Georgia. Her mom was living in Georgia at the time, so she couldn't take her. She couldn't get the little girl, which is my daughter. And she didn't even keep the brother. Now, to my knowledge, to my understanding, my daughter is the youngest of two older siblings. The brother, I believe, went into foster care. The sister was adopted or whatever. So I'm like, had to hurry up and make a quick decision. I'm like, God, for you to bring this back in. She knew I was on my spiritual journey. For this to come up and in the manner that it did, I went and got her. She was 2 days old. My youngest at the time, I want to say she was 4 or 5 when we took in my daughter that I'm adopting. And she was like, I remember, like, I got pictures and everything of me getting her from the hospital. So because I no longer had like baby things, like so many people just pitched in, like my job had a baby shower for me. I didn't get any time off from work because I was her guardian and everything. And like again, because I'm now taking in another child and it's just me and my daughters, I got into tunnel vision. My aunt at the time, daycares won't even take kids if they're not 6 weeks or had their first shots. So because I didn't get time off from work to care for her, I had an aunt that kept her during the day. I paid my aunt to keep her, and so I was able to put her in daycare. And yeah, so I feel like this year was a year that I'm like, let me go ahead and complete the process. I've had her since 2 days old. It was never a question in my mind. Like, to me, you can't tell me that's not my daughter. If you look at her, you would think that I physically had her. And I do plan on telling her about her background, her journey, and everything. She's 5. So I would rather get us all into therapy to figure out how to communicate that. I told y'all one of my um disadvantages is how I am just straightforward with things. And I feel like when you are communicating that, especially to a child, like I want to make sure that I'm communicating that in a way. Now, I did try to tell her at one point in time because she does this thing where she comes home from school and she learns a new word. So she'll come home and she'll be like ginormous. And that means such and such and such, or she'll say different things. So I'm like, okay. I said, do you know what adoption means? And she was like, no. We just have a regular conversation. And I said, she said, wait, isn't that like when a mom becomes another mom to somebody or whatever? I said, yeah, that's similar or whatever. So mind you, she don't know that I'm not her biological or whatever. She says to me, I said to her, I said, do you want me to adopt you or whatever? She said, you already my mom. Like, why are you playing, girl? You already my mom. And when I tell y'all, I went at that as a lighthearted way of thinking that I was going to deliver the message or to tell her, y'all, I broke out crying. Like, I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even do it. So, like I said before, I do plan on sharing that with her eventually. I love kids. I just, health-wise, physically, I'm getting up there in age. My kids are now involved in after school activities. I just don't have, like, I can't, and I'm going to say this in full transparency. I feel like I can't give them 100% of my undivided time all the time. And I don't feel guilty about it because we have that support system. We have that, but I just can't. I feel like now I wouldn't be opposed to dating somebody that has kids or whatever. But if you are somebody that has kids, I'm definitely going to be peeping the background. I'm definitely going to be peeping the dynamic. I'm definitely, because one thing about me and my kids do everything together. Like, and I'm so grateful and thankful that they are at that age to where they even want to be around me. Because at their age, I was always trying to go out and do stuff with my friends. Or I was always trying to go out with my dad. Imagine if you find a man and your kids having to live with that. Right. Right. And I will say, like, I would get married. I definitely love marriage and everything like that. And like I said, I had to call my second daughter's dad and apologize because when I got pregnant, I felt like I lost my best friend. Like, he got tunnel vision. He became me. He became me. Like, he was already working the way that he was working. But I felt like once I became pregnant, and mind you, my second daughter is his first child. I never seen him anymore. So I'm like thinking to myself, like, I'm doing this all by myself again. And all he was trying to do was provide, because that's what he grew up knowing his dad to do. He ended up working for the same company that his dad worked for. So I just had to put my pride aside, and I had to call him and apologize for how I reacted to that situation, how I responded to that situation. You're supposed to, you're not supposed to. Your children are shared responsibility, and you are absolutely right. And I had guilt for years. Like, really, the past 2 years, I had a lot of guilt. Because if you were on this live this whole time, I was saying that I didn't consider anybody else. I was very selfish. When you are in a marriage, you cannot be selfish. Me buying my house, me going to school, like, those were all things that I can justify because I was single. But if I put my feet in their shoes, I was very selfish. I moved down here to be closer to my mom, but I stripped my baby dads of the opportunity of having their kids in the same state. I took advantage, not intentionally, not knowingly, of me being a go-to person. So when I was in Delaware, I was the one that had to do the conferences. My kids were not as busy as they are now. So I was the main one that had to do all these things. So now that I look back, and their dads are more grounded in the work that they do, they're more available. They're not working on the weekends. They're able to go to a parent-teacher conference. Like, they're able to do these things. Like, these are things that once I matured, I called them and apologized, because it's some men who live in the same state and town with their kids, and moms will not allow them to see it. And my kids, we don't have that relationship, and the distance is what keeps them from being active and being a day-to-day parent. You get what I'm saying? So I can 100% admit to my wrongs with that. I didn't see it at first. I moved down here to be here to help with my mom. Meanwhile, we're down here with no help. That's deep. Because when I was back in Delaware, my family stepped about my kids. Their dads stepped about them. No matter how we felt about each other during that time, I can't take away how they are. Yes, try to stay. I'm trying. That's why I said you were absolutely right. You must know that I be the 1-2 o'clock. That should be a great one. Yes, and let me tell you, I just posted a vlog the other day where I was being very hard on myself. And as a Christian, if you are God-fearing, don't be like this. I can give all the advice in the world, but sometimes we don't take our own advice. And I called my daughter's dad, and I'm like, on this particular day, I'm like, Kason got a volleyball game. Taylor had to stay after school. And then my oldest, she was trying out for cheerleading. I just got a hysterectomy a couple days ago. You get what I'm saying? So I'm feeling defeated, and I'm feeling in my feels. If I could, I'd take care of you for free. Help you recover super fast. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And this is why I try to share my journey. Like, I have married friends that sit up there and tell me, like, girl, I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, please don't glamorize it. Please don't get no thoughts in your head thinking that you are not getting something and that you can carry all this, because it's not cute. It's really not cute. But I feel like this is my routine now. This is my norm now. And this is the only way I know how to be. But my kids love it here. Even though Delaware is their home and they remember being there longer than they've been here, I recently started saying, like, would y'all want to go back? No. They like it here. They're doing well. My kids are straight A students. They're meeting friends, things like that. Because we left at a time during the pandemic to where we were in isolation. They love their dads. They go up there every summer. They visit with my family. And that's another thing. The reason why I wanted to point that out where I went wrong is because they could have gave me a hard time. Even though intentionally in my mind, I'm going down here to help. They should understand. I went into trauma into, I don't know the word that I'm thinking of. There's a problem. Rather than dealing with life and consequences of your decision, everyone needs a crutch. From a single mother, we work 3 jobs to be a yes, you're absolutely right. When my middle daughter, her grandmom, her dad's mom, passed away, and we were in a pandemic, all I knew was a fight or flight. You get what I'm saying? So even though my mom never came up and visited my kids when they were growing up, even though my mom wasn't the constant that was there for me in school, even though I'm a caretaker, God forbid anything ever happened to my mom, it would not be my brother that came down here to take care of her. He was raised in a household with my dad. He's a dad. Like, all my siblings are very close to my dad. So even though, like I said, I did it for the right reason, a lot of people could relate. Oh, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. My kids' fathers could have fought me on that. They could have took me to court, preventing me from leaving Delaware. And they would have been well within their rights to do that. And although, and I'm trying not to get emotional. And the emotions is coming from how we all feel about our kids. Okay. So the emotions is, like I said, are coming from how we feel about our kids. And one thing that I always tell, like, my family and everything, because them knowing the sacrifices that I make to be here, we talk about it. Like, my sister, my younger sister, she says, if anything ever happens to you, I'm getting custody of my nieces. And I told her, I said, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Like, I don't want y'all fighting for my kids. I had kids ultimately with people that are involved. They might not parent the way I parent, but that's still their parent. You get what I'm saying? Now, it's another thing if something were to happen to their dads, then I can understand that. And my kids are still at the age to where they would need somebody to take care of them. But I don't want my family fighting their dads for my kids because I'm a single mom. No, they have to. And that's the thing. When my kids go up to Delaware to be with their dads make sure that they see my side of the family. We're all close knit. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I appreciate. Like, I might not have that close knit from my mom's side, but I definitely have that family and support from my side, my dad's side, and their dad's side. So with that being said, like, when I called him and I'm just like thinking of all the things that I gotta try to manage, hoping that I'm not jeopardizing my recovery time from my hysterectomy and stuff like that. And he's a matter of fact person too. So if you go back and watch the video of us like having a conversation, he like, damn, G, like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's unfortunate. He said, but at some point in time, somebody gotta be mad at us. You can't just be going there supporting Kason. And it's gonna be time to where Kason gonna have to be mad at you because you can't be at her game. And these is all things that I had to know, like, that I know, but I don't take motherhood lightly. And even with them being here with me, now I'm considering like their dads. So I felt like me even calling him just to like get a peace of mind, I needed his reassurance that I wasn't doing anything wrong and that I'm doing the best of my ability. You get what I'm saying? So like even him just saying, at some point in time, you can't be at 20 different places at once. It just is the way that it is. Like, you ain't even supposed to be worried about that. Like, so it might sound like, you know how you go to jail, like, not that I've ever been to jail, but have y'all ever seen this show like Scared Straight? Like, now we have that dynamic in a relationship that it's like, if I want something raw and uncut, I'm gonna call my baby dad. You get what I'm saying? Because he's gonna give me the factual, he's gonna help me go from being like this in defeat to like hold my shoulder up, like, and being proud. And, even just talking about, that's the co-parenting part that I appreciate about like me and his dynamic, because this is our first time our daughter has ever played any after school sport. And you ain't supposed to worry in general that whatever age you are absolutely right. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, we gotta change that narrative. Too many times we were told that we were doing the right things, and sometimes we're just not. Like, knowing the trauma and the work that I had to do on myself, but we're to the point now, like, I my brother grew up playing football. He played football with my brother, my baby dad did, or whatever. And I'm a sports mom now. Like, I'm a volleyball mom. I'm very proud of that, right? Hi, Andrew. And I'm like, when my daughter made the team, she made the team prior to her going up to Delaware. So we had a parent meeting, and the coach was just saying, like, there's not going to be any practices. They know that. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. I'm sorry that you're feeling overwhelmed. I hope that you feel better. I hope you're not overwhelmed from me, my story, or whatever. But she assured me that they wouldn't have practice. And I'm like, okay, so she's not going to miss anything. And then later on, give it to God. One thing that, I don't know if you believe in God, but one thing that has always stuck with me, my dad told me, either you going to worry or you going to pray. You can't do both. If you are somebody that believes in God, you're a Christian, worrying is only going to block out your depression, a lot of depression, and I suffer from illness. Andrew, I'm going to say a prayer for you. I promise you. I'm going to say a prayer for you, and I hope that you overcome that. You make human day. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all made my day for sticking around. It's 96. I ain't going to Walmart today. I'm going to have to wait for the kids to come. I'm going to have to... Thank you. I'm going to have to go shopping with the kids now. But to their defense, they will be able to lift this stuff and put it in the cart. I can't lift beyond 5 pounds. But yeah, I was talking to her dad, and he was just saying, like, well, gee, if y'all got a volleyball camp or a rec down there, then that's something that we gonna have to look into. If she got a miss coming up here for the summer, or if I gotta find somewhere for her to go, like, just having that support and somebody to talk to that's not gonna sit up there and be like, oh, well, you chose to leave. Like, it was that at first, and I'm thinking that I'm doing a good job. Like, I feel like the overachiever in me and the proudness that I used to want to hear from like my mom is now something that I look to hear from like them. Like, I hope that my kids' dads are proud at the fact that we got some amazing daughters. Oh, goodness. Andrew, where you at? Look, I'm saying it like, I don't even know what it is here in Georgia. That's hot. When I tell y'all I'm in such better spirits, like, as far as I've been doing YouTube now, I want to say either 4 or 5 years, and I have not been consistent. I will say that I was the reason why my page and channel wasn't growing. I don't promote myself because I genuinely believe that those that are meant to connect with me and be with me will. And again, things don't happen to you but for you. So with that being said, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, I'm in good spirits. Like, I feel like I have been more consistent now within the past couple of weeks than I ever have been. And again, I feel like I was meant to share this journey and this path with everybody. Hi, I'm from New Zealand. Really, Dallas? I never knew that. New Zealand was always somewhere where I wanted to visit too. In the process of me moving, my best friend bought my old house. I was so overwhelmed moving, like, during the pandemic, because I didn't take off from work or anything. Like, I just sat up there and moved down on a Friday and had somebody from TaskRabbit come install my TVs, put everything up, everything like that. I forgot my passport in the process of me moving, and I just ended up paying. Like, I left so much stuff behind. I was like, girl, whatever you want to keep, you can keep for free. Whatever you want to get rid of, I had paid for like a dumpster to be left at the house. I said, even if it's your stuff, because this being my best friend, we know each other. So I'm like, I know she ain't even packed. And she didn't want to go looking for a house. So once I made it in my mind that I was going to be buying and relocating here in Georgia, um, yeah, it was up from there. It was up from there. See, even though I'm born in December, I do not like the winters. And when I say winter, I don't like the snow. Like living up in Delaware, we had snow. We had state of emergencies. I feel like living in Georgia, we haven't experienced snow yet. But I don't know how long, Cuban, you've been here in Georgia. How long you been here in Georgia? Are you born and raised Georgia, or did you migrate here? I feel like if we see a snow flurry, the way people act down here is going to be a state of emergency just from the snow flurry. It's 90 on the ground and 100. Yeah, that's insane. Wow. Born and raised, Grady, baby. Period. I know that's right. Well, listen, I don't know who was on here from Chicago, but that's why I said I'm going to start celebrating. You know how they be saying like Christmas in July? It's going to be December in July because I turned 40 this year, and I really would like to go to Chicago. And I want to go to Chicago. I want to be Keith Lee in Chicago. I heard Chicago got like the good food and all that. Normally, I'm an out of the country type of person, but I can't do Chicago in December. I ain't gonna be able to do it. It reminds me too much of home. Don't be done, Cuban. Hang in there. Don't be don't be done. Yeah, but oh, you down. Okay, okay. Get off my page if you don't want me yapping. I do need to be held accountable though. I do need to quit yapping, yo, so that I can go ahead and go run my errands before these kids come. Because the price that I want to spend in the store is not going to be the price that I end up spending in the store if they go. We had 107 last year. Yeah, I don't know. So have you ever traveled out of New Zealand? Have you ever been like to the United States? Facts ain't true, but yeah, I can't take the heat. This like one thing. If y'all ever see me, like I don't have no filter on. Like this is my year. This is my skin tone all year round. I don't come outside until the fall. I don't come outside until I could put on a sweater. I might do my errands, and the pandemic really made that even easier for me because I could just Instacart stuff. But heat make people trip. Like heat really will make people lose their mind. Fall time, I get creative. I feel productive. Even though as a mom, I'm productive all the time, I just feel like the fall was made for me. Now, let me tell you some things about Delaware. Now, I was originally born in New Jersey. My mom and dad lived in Alabama. So when my mom was pregnant with me, they moved up to Delaware. One thing I miss about Delaware is it's tax-free. Ain't no taxes. I definitely will show you around. Even though when I went back up there in May, I had to use my GPS. Like they did a lot of construction. Delaware is very small. Like you can get from one side, very small. Like it does not take long to get to Jersey, Philly, or anything. DC, Baltimore is very small. I love the fact that it's tax-free. Like when I first moved down here and I went to the dollar store, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this was the dollar store. They was like, yeah, we got taxes. I didn't even know that it became a $1.25 store. So this how y'all know. I don't know where my mind was at, but they have beaches. The beaches are not like Destin. Like now that I moved from Delaware, I couldn't even tell you, Cuban, what you would even go to Delaware and do. And that's what I'm saying. Like Delaware has a lot of good food spots and places to eat, but as far as like entertainment and things like for a family, it ain't Georgia. Like I like the fact that I can just go to like a museum or a park, even if it's an outdoor park, I can go to like it's so much more here to do. 48% income tax today. Kamala wants to raise it to 50. Listen, I hear y'all and all that because when I bought my house, I felt like I bought my house at a really good price and everything like that. And this year was the first year that my mortgage actually went up because of the taxes. I had my house built, so the property taxes were not assessed. When I tell you everything has gone up, groceries, everything. Like I seen a meme on, I think it was Instagram talking about, remember how $200 of groceries used to be like, go ahead and put it in the trunk. Like now you telling the people go ahead and put it in the passenger seat because you leaving out of the store with absolutely nothing. But I don't get on here talking about politics, because who you vote for is your choice. Who I vote for is my choice. But I definitely think it's important for everybody to get out there and vote. And that's my message for today. I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, when it comes to election, I bought land and used my to build my home. So, and I'm only asking this because this is a genuine question. So even when you buy land, don't you gotta? You never had to pay taxes on that land? And I'm pausing because listen, the reason why I'm stuck is because Georgia is a when I always see memes talking about how Georgia is not a real place, and I know you, Andrew, you probably don't even live in Georgia. So Georgia is really not a real place. When I moved here from Delaware, I had a car that I was leasing. I still have the car to today. I extended the lease for another year because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But once I saw the rates and the prices of things going up, I was like, I'm not buying another car. I have a 2020 and I don't leave the house like that. So at the time, I want to say this was April. I think I had just hit 50,000 miles on my car. And the year before, I had to get the tags and title and everything transferred over in my name. I had to pay $600 in, right? So when I paid off my car in April and had to get the title and tags in my name, y'all, I had to pay like $1,900. And I'm thinking like I'm doing something by paying the car off, and y'all still trying to get money out of me. Okay, so I had family buried on my. Oh, once we did that. I know that's right, Andrew. You better get on here with the education now. I just seen a and this is what I mean when I say God will put people on your path to sit up there and help you know that you're doing the right thing. Now I don't know if I don't know if I could bury nobody in my yard though, Andrew. Now, did you notice in advance? Like now I'm curious. I'm here for all y'all that's on here too. Besides the $16 a month private health care. The culture shock is see, and I hear that. Like so many people during the pandemic have been able to do things that I don't even think that they would have been able. I'm sorry. So many people have done things that I don't even think they imagined doing at the time. Like I've seen so many things come up talking about people have dual citizenships and stuff like that. I don't even understand why we got to pay for healthcare. I'm not trying to knock the United States because I do know, like, especially me being a Christian, it's some people that are not even allowed to have free will as far as what their beliefs are, their belief system. But if I could just be honest, I feel like that's the only freedom we got. We don't got no say so in anything else. I appreciate you. Yes, we family now, Cuban. We family. Tell your wife and kids I said hi. We definitely family. um yeah, I think that's crazy. I love that about other countries that they don't have healthcare. And I also seen somebody do like a TikTok talking about places to where we can't go. And I say we a lot of the people that I seen were black people. Before the pandemic, I was a soldier. Now I build custom cabins. That is amazing. So you living your life. Did you always feel like you wanted to do that? Andrew, why you don't be going live, Andrew? See, this is the type of things that interest me. Like I even said before, when it was coming down to the point, like when I was researching, I slept on it. I'm no longer an impulsive person. Being as though I came from a family that was not good with managing money. Right. Damn, Andrew. Right. Cousin. Andrew, our cousin now. My brother's middle name is Andrew. But being as though I came from a family that mismanaged money, like I don't want liabilities. Like I'm trying to think of a way to sit up there and pay off my house very soon, like doubling up and everything. But I'm just like, give yourself grace, give yourself grace. Like me and my kids used to travel all the time. Once I lost my passport, we ain't been nowhere. But that was something I wanted to instill to them. So they don't even be bringing it up to me anymore or whatever. But it's other things that I would like to accomplish now. Like I want to get rid of, you got 3 degrees, you're so, I mean, listen, I thought them degrees was going to mean so much more to me. And that's why I don't want to put the pressure on my kids. Don't get me wrong. I'm very proud of my degrees or whatever. Um, but you got to keep in mind, I was doing it from a place and a space of being an overachiever. I was doing it from wanting to hear, oh, good job, proud of you. I hustled my behind off. It was very important to me at that moment. But when I look back at the student loan debt that I got, Q, Miss Smith, mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Degrees are worthless without experience. You could get those papers and still, and you are absolutely right. Now, what I will say is I definitely have a great job. And I want to thank being in Georgia for getting me. I don't want to say getting me the job that was nobody but God, but I've been with my company for 21 years and I was in roles to where I was doing good, I was performing, but once I got permission from my manager back in Delaware that I could relocate during the pandemic, one thing that she told me was, you can leave, but our department is not down there. So um if and when we have to go back into the office, if you have not found a different department or a different job, you won't have to come back or whatever. And I knew that this was ultimately going to be my home. So once I got here, I started looking for a job and all that, and I was very selective because I got used to being here for my kids. I got used to being here when they went to school and being home when they got home. I didn't want to go back into the office. So with that being said, once I found a job, it was the worst. Like I'm the type of person, I've been in different areas in my job. I've never stayed in one spot, but that was the most uncomfortable I had been because I was in training from August all the way up until November, and then the last day of training, they was like, we need y'all to jump on the phones. When I tell y'all, I never even realized it because again, a part of my survival instincts is to just get tunnel vision. I was so depressed, y'all. I try to keep a positive head, not to overthink and stuff like that. It wasn't to the point to where I wanted to harm myself or anything, but it caused me to start looking inside and outside of my job. And I reached out to somebody and I ended up finding out that there was going to be a posting up for another area, and that ended up coming with a $30,000 pay increase. Morally, this job, once I started doing it, it started bothering me because I'm like, I came from a world where I had to bust my behind off. One mistake could have wiped me out or whatever, and all that. So knowing that I had friends that came from that, I'm like, so you mean to tell me I'm going to be doing more, getting paid less? Morally, I couldn't wrap my head around that. Let me go to the comments. Degrees are worthless. Okay, so I seen that. Cuban, I know you did. It may he live in America, but in any other country, you could become a prime minister or president, millionaire, and that's facts. But let me ask you something, Andrew. I don't know. I think you did say you was a millionaire. Do you think 401? I do think 401k is a ripoff, and let me tell you why. I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm 39. I'll be 40 in December. I feel like 401ks were like really, really pushed. And I get why, because a lot of people were getting rich off of retirement plans. But what do y'all think the average age of retirement is now? That's number one. And and then I just feel like you gotta pay taxes on it. And then you gotta pay taxes after you take it out. Like, I've been hearing more of like the Roth, to where you can do, is it, no, an IRA, I think it is. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, my goal, to be honest and actual and factual with y'all, was to retire when I had 25 years in at my company. And that's in a couple years. And the God I serve, anything is possible. Y'all heard what I said, right? When I moved here, I did everything online. I had my house built, but I did everything while I was still in Delaware. I just came down. I wrote scriptures on the foundation of my house and everything. So I'm a firm believer that everything will be done in his will, according to his will or whatever. But now I'm hearing about like term life insurance. All those things are way better than, from what I understand, a 401k. Because what if you're an entrepreneur and you don't offer that? Like, I think that there's other ways to become a millionaire. But if you want to be a millionaire, but it's going to be hard to do it in the form of a 401k. That explains. Fun fact, Andrew, my wife is German. Q, Miss Smith, what you do? You hiring? Because my daughter need a job. Andrew on here clocking tea. See, and this, I don't know what was going on at the beginning of my life, but this is what I like. Hi from the UK. This is what I like. I like each one teach one. Okay, I like that. Because I don't do no gatekeeping on my page, on my channel. Everything is tough. Yes, I agree. Y'all done got me excited. I done said the heck with Walmart. I've been on here for 100 and... I'm getting ready to get off this live for real. I got stuff to do. I ain't even ate breakfast. Y'all, I will say I can't wait to get back into the gym though. Once I'm cleared, I cannot wait. Plus, if your LLC is over a year old, you can get commercial loans. Andrew, let me go. Charity, that is a good question. If I could give myself some advice, I don't think you were on here when I was giving some background into like my life story. I would say, I would tell myself, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. You don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it all by yourself. That was a good question. What's your favorite kind of snack, Natasha? I know that's right, Andrew. Andrew, do you have a family? Not like your mom, dad, and all that. I'm talking about like a wife, kids, and all that. Is this stuff that you and I'm not asking for like a hook, cause I know y'all. I'm asking, like, is this stuff that you like instill into your family and everything? I got a screen. How can I guess I could save this. I'm about to say I ain't taking notes. This is something I should be taking notes for. Lunchtime now. My mama be in town, y'all, and she's coming based off of guilt, but I'm gonna still appreciate it and everything like that. So I definitely don't want to sound ungrateful. Um, but her and my aunt had got into it. I got some. Get that fruit in, Natasha. Get Natasha talking about balancing. Girl, I'm gonna let you listen. When I say stuff like that, and I'm joking because I be wanting to have a treat, and you should treat yourself. I be telling my kids, I be like, I'm as delusional as the people be combing their hair all the way down here, knowing their hair ain't that long. No wife, no children. I'm still building a life worth the sacrifice. My baby. Period. God forgive me, because that ain't what you wanted me to tell Andrew to do. I feel you, Andrew. That's all. I'm sitting up there like, Andrew, I know that's right. Andrew, don't be like that to the people. You're beautiful. You're a good woman. Thank you. I appreciate I appreciate it. No, but Andrew, I understand just based off of the things that I went through and have been through. Like I said earlier in my thing, my detachment, I still get memes to this day because people think of me as being this way. My detachment style is horrendous, and I'm not proud of that. Like uh, the old me, the way that I used to just cut communication and all that. But one thing I realize now is that we are all dealing and going, and I'm not telling you to like change what you grew to be comfortable with. I just wanted to share this. What helped me change my perspective was the fact that we are all dealing and going through things, and a lot of people have not done the work that I have done, and I just give them grace. They might not act or respond the way that I need them to be. I could love them from a distance. I forgive them for the things that they've done to me in my life. And thank you, Andrew. And it's Andrew R, and then it's Andrew A. If they can't elevate themselves past their own hate, then well, let me just say this. I'm hoping more blessing and abundance to you because you feel that way towards them, and you came on my platform and you shared that information. So I'm hoping more blessings and all that for you, because you didn't have to do that. Even though this is stuff technically we all can sit up here and take the time to do, but this has been coming up. I've been seeing this a lot more and more. So when stuff like that happens to me in my life, I definitely appreciate it and take heed to that. And you should be proud of yourself. Very proud of yourself. Now, do you ever think like Andrew, like how first of all, how old are you? This is Andrew A. Is it Almas? Almas? I don't want to mispronounce it. Yes. Yeah, because you don't want nobody, you don't want to block your blessings either. You get what I'm saying? That's how I had to um t- Andrew, you a baby. Thank you, your favorite volleyball player. My daughter plays volleyball. You got any tips for my daughter? This is her first year playing volleyball. I'm actually, like I said, this is my first sport that I got experience, like got to witness or whatever. I came from a household that like breathes and lives football, but volleyball is literally my favorite sport. It's indoors, so I ain't got to deal with the heat, and it's fast paced. Like I love it. Well, thank you for your service. I'm saying like You've accomplished a lot. That's right, Cuban Smith. Tell him. You've accomplished a lot. Like my little brother, I have a younger brother that's 29. And I'm just as proud as him. He is doing very well for himself. He just bought his second house. Him and my dad compete with one another. I don't want to say compete because he looks up to my dad, but they sent me pictures. They both got Corvettes and everything. So, Andrew, you are doing very good for yourself. I am very proud of you. You ain't most millionaires don't live it. And I hope you saying that like as far as like you don't be buying expensive stuff and all that. Like, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. One thing about me, I'm a live within my means. Okay. Most of my money is going into my yacht. Period. Now, Andrew, you don't want to have no babies to leave. Now, let me say this because this is how we was raised. Like, oh, you gotta leave something to people and all that. I don't really believe in that because God forbid anything ever happened to me. That oldest daughter of mine, she already give entitlement. I'm gonna have to create a trust so that there's stipulations. You ain't just gonna be sitting around. I wasn't able to lay back and kick my feet up. You gonna have to figure some things out too. How do people be getting your number? I'm sorry, y'all. I was sitting up there reading a text message and Andrew, you a millionaire with that. Thank you. I don't know nothing about this. And that's another reason why my channel just hit 1,000 because I really just get on here and I be my organic self. I can't sit up there and I don't know how to put on. And I don't know if that's because I'm a Sagittarius, but I don't know how to. When I look at other content creators, I'm inspired by seeing their channel and their growth. But some of the things that they do, that it's not them. And I cannot not be me. And I might not resonate to everybody. So I definitely some tips for your daughter is work hard. Don't be scared. Thank you. Let me tell you why that meant a lot, your fave. Like my middle daughter, she is very um quiet, very shy. But she's definitely fighting for her spot on the team. Like when I went to her first game, because again, she missed the opportunity to practice with the team because we were told that they wouldn't have practice over the summer. So she was like the outlier. Everybody else was able to practice because they were still here in Georgia. She was in Delaware. And at first, they had her as playing on a team and as the team manager. Now she's permanently on a team, so she doesn't have to fill that manager spot. She's never played a sport before. So the manager they got now, she's like, good job, like team spirit. And I'm thinking back and I'm like, yeah, my daughter wouldn't have did good with that. Not because she didn't want to. She's a straight A's, like education, books and all that stuff come naturally for her. But she's a little awkward sometimes because the things that you gotta do and all that, she's not used to. And one thing about me, like being a single mom, anything that my kids want to get into, I automatically get into it for myself so that I could help them. I could practice with them and stuff like that. I just can't practice because I'm still recovering from my hysterectomy. So I told her she goes outside, I'll be hearing her hit the side of my house, like practicing, spiking and all that. But once I'm able to be cleared, I'm going to have her on a regimen. Trust me. I'm 33, don't have any kids, but my sister does, and her daughter is 13 and hit that entitlement stage. Is that her only child? Because for my oldest, she's the only one. She's the oldest. And keep in mind, her dad is the youngest. And I ain't trying to throw shade, but I'm just like, she got my DNA and she got his DNA. And I was hoping that the DNA she got from me was more of a hard worker and less entitlement. But she didn't get that from me. Okay, so let me go back because I know y'all was talking to Andrew. Nah, millions by guys. What movie you watch, Andrew? Come on, give us the tea, Andrew. What advice you got from a movie, and what was the advice? But see, this is inspiring because I feel like, again, I now looking back, I went to college to as an overachiever, as to, make my family and all them proud, to be the only one that did that or whatever. I have a good career and everything. I could be doing, especially in this economy. I feel like you need at least six figures in order to be comfortable. Um, but this is very inspiring to hear that you're 29. Not no shade to nobody else, because Andrew's the one on here telling me his story. To be 29 and you're a millionaire, that's amazing. I'm 50. Cuban, I'm gonna leave you alone. Cuban, I'm gonna leave you alone. No, you seen my eyes, right? I hope you seen my eyes, but I'm gonna leave you alone because we family and we became family. Could you do this only? So you expensive, you're a volleyball player, okay? Yeah. I hope you appreciate your mom knowing that. Now let me say this. My oldest ran track when she was in 8th grade. She's in 10th grade now. She ran track, and Georgia and Cuban, you can correct me on this. But one thing I realized is sports down here is way different than sports up there. When she was running track, that was an all-day event. That was an all-day event. I support my kids in everything they want to do. But as a single mom and the only parent that's down here, I couldn't stand track. I'm like, you already ran and we got to wait here to 10 o'clock at night. I got to cook dinner. Like, I'm ready to go. Cuban, I was triggered. Not in a bad way, but you just made me think of things. You said you 50 and your wife is 39, okay? And it just made me think of something. And I'm protecting. I don't want nobody to get on here messing with my family. You my family now. But I naturally just thought, like, I have people in my family that are not married, that don't have no kids. And how can I say this? I haven't had these conversations with these particular people, but just talking to other family members, this is what they have told me. Like, prime example, you might have a male in your family that only want to date women that are a certain age or whatever. This is what made me think of you, was that you might only want to date women your age because you know that they are less challenging than someone closer than your age. They're more flexible. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm saying as far as, and that's good. And that's what I'm saying. Like I said, my brother is a great kid. Or well, he grown. I think he's 29. But I think he wants like a younger woman. And when I say younger, definitely legal age. But I just think like to myself, like, all the younger people that we know that is that age can't cook. Like, the things you looking for, you want, you are so used to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to call him and ask him, because what is it? He was engaged at one point in time, and that didn't work out. She didn't have to work. She was in school. He brought her a dog. She didn't even walk the dog. Didn't cook or anything like that. So I'm just like, I don't get. Maybe she ain't know how to cook. Like, what do your expectations be? Like, and I'm not picking on you, Cuban. Like I said, it just made me think of something because I've just heard recent conversations where some men think that the only high value women are ones that they can manipulate. That's what I was getting ready to turn that into a 20-minute conversation. I know what you think of machine. We are over here lifting. What what grade are you in? Your favorite volleyball player? See, the one good thing that I like is that my daughter doesn't have practice on Fridays. So on Fridays she come right home. Fridays I ain't got to pick up after school or whatever. But I'm really loving volleyball. Cook, clean, and booty call. That's what they bring to the respect and know you attract younger women. But do these women be having daddy issues, Cuban Smith? Because if I could just be honest with you, even when I was younger, I always um dated people that were older than me. I never wanted to date anybody that was my age because you know they already say that women are more mature than guys. Oh, you're in ninth grade. Now let me tell y'all something. Cuban, Andrew, and all that. We gonna talk some adult conversation. But we got your favorite volleyball player. I'm glad that you came over to my page, but we can ready to have some adult conversation. And the things that we getting ready to talk about, I wouldn't want my daughter in here. It's not gonna be explicit. I'm telling you now, it's not gonna be explicit. But you might want to leave my live. You can subscribe to my page because I do have family content. But we gonna get into some things with Cuban and all them. And I don't want you to be influenced by the conversations that we have. Y'all agree with me, Andrew, Cuban, Dallas, what? Look, I gotta make sure I'm getting my family name right. Yeah, Dallas. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Was very respectful. We okay. Well, good luck and enjoy your workout. Send me some tips. Send me some videos or whatever too, so I can share with my daughter. Um, Enjoy your day. Have a great weekend. Oh, she didn't call me ma'am. Got me feeling old. Okay, so now where was we at? Okay, so like I was saying, I felt like I attracted like a older people. I will say now looking back, I kind of felt like I might have been manipulated. I take full accountability. I do take full accountability. But I used to look at that as a flex. And now I look at it like as these people are corn dogs. Thank you. I'm 39. I'll be 40 in December. Anybody else ninth grade underage, under 18 or whatever in here? Because I didn't kick your volleyball player off. I don't want her to be exposed to certain things. Because I don't want my child. Like, I mean, we can't protect them from everything, but I don't want to have. Okay, so my oldest boyfriend, he was 25 and I was 17 going on 18. Women definitely mature faster than men, and I give you that. And I just remember like thinking to myself, because y'all heard me say this is not no Shamora situation. My birthday is in December. I started school late, okay? So I remember, being able to drive his car. Like, that was a flex to me. Like, what girl got her man car and all that other stuff? But now that I'm sitting back thinking, this man lived at home. He ain't have nothing to his name but a car. You get what I'm saying? So I was the one that we were together for a long time. But I was the one that came with my own apartment. I was the one that eventually had my own car. Like, I just seen no growth. Like, I was attracted to having that freedom. Like, so, wait, how old? Women mature faster. It's the internet. They could always live. That is true. No way. Oh, my God. Thank you. Amen. Well, y'all married. I'm just telling you what came to my mind. Y'all married. You did the right thing by marrying her or whatever. Not saying that who I was with didn't. Because, again, like, now that I look back, I'm like, you still in the same place and space. And I don't date people for what they can do for me. Like, that's another reason why I feel like I'm very comfortable with being single, because I don't know what I could get from a man other than somebody to lay next to in the bed. I really don't. It take one to know one, Andrew. Amen. Right. I agree with that. We didn't kick homegirl off. I thought, yeah, but that was the only thing that I had to say. Like, I feel like oh damn, so yeah, but that, like, if I could, I do agree. I do agree. But I'm coming from a place like before I really started taking my religion serious. Like, I am the type of person, again, this is getting ready to be another transparent moment. Don't judge me, okay? Matter of fact, that was who I was. You can judge me all you want. But being as though I was not raised in a church, and I just knew that I wanted to pursue Christianity or whatever, I used to avoid the Bible because I would hear people talk about what was in there. And although I wanted to go to heaven and everything, I didn't want to deal with the reality that I was doing anything that God would not be pleased with. So if I'm just being honest, like, I had 2 kids out of wedlock. But now that I'm in the word for myself and I'm having an understanding of myself, and then again, when I used to hear from other people, they used to be like, oh, you not married, you going to hell, and all this other stuff. They would do it that way. But once I got in the word, I'm like, you can get into hell for unforgiveness. You get what I'm saying? Like, one thing that I do not like about some Christians is that they want to use the narrative or the Bible to their advantage, but don't live by everything in it. And granted, I don't live by everything. I have not even completed the Bible yet. I'm still building and working on my relationship. But knowing that God is my father and how I am as a parent, he way more forgiving than I am even to my kids. So that's just what, I'm not a Christian, I'm pagan. And I still love you, Andrew. That. Okay, let me see what Natasha said, because, honey, Andrew then gave her some tea, honey. Natasha, let me see. Now to Andrew, to her, I see where she coming with that. Like I said, I ain't playing the fence now. But it sounds. Yes. And you know what? So for some reason, like I said, my Facebook page has started popping up. It's under my name, which is my real name is Geton Foster. And everybody that has recently started following me have been men. And I see that some of them we have like mutual friends, but not all of us, right? So the ones that we have mutual friends, I never knew them. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. So this might be like a little bit long-winded because I have a unique name. I lived in Delaware. I don't know nobody else that came from Delaware with the name Geton. So I used to find that a lot of people be like, oh, I know her, I know her. And I'm like, I never met these people before. I'm a very friendly person. You might know of me, but we've never had no interaction to where we know each other. So with that being said, like a lot of people I'm seeing now that they are getting older, they're getting wiser, but now they have this hatred towards women because before certain women were on that, not on their caliber. And I get it. You get what I'm saying? Like now I'm finding men that have their own places, that cook and all that. I love that for them. But y'all mad that y'all, and when I say y'all, some of the things that I see, the rhetoric on social media, they're mad that like they're not getting the women they like, but y'all, and calling them gold diggers and everything like that. Why are they gold diggers? Because they're getting this stuff on their own. It's nothing wrong with wanting what you want. That's true. That is true. I might just gotta go to the Walmart and get me one today. I might Like, listen, because this ain't that. Yeah, and I feel like that is how it should be, Natasha. I love what you said about your mom, and I love that that is your mom's approach, because some people just, think like, oh, da 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 da. Like he says in the Bible, love your neighbors as God loved the church. Like, love everybody. Now, it's a lot of things that you just like, and what's so crazy is I think that I don't blast. I'm not ashamed of it or whatever, but I'm still that outgoing, fun type of person. So some people will send me like different things in my DM, and it could be like a joke, or like the whole Diddy situation. They're sending me things like wanting to know my input and stuff like that. And you know what I say? Um, Especially my mom. My mom's not a Christian. Like, she believes in God or whatever, but she has not started her walk there yet. So she'll be like, did you hear this? And I'm like, yeah, I heard about this when I was in grade school. Like, this is not new information to me or whatever. But I also say that we also have to remember that we are all people too. And the only reason why what he did is such a big deal is because of the platform that is being broadcasted on. I don't know if I can say this, but I'm transparent. Like, I was sexually abused as a child by a family member. Okay. And the reaction that my mom had to what he did, when I say he, Diddy, was so full of compassion. But when it came to me and her daughter, you expected me to do what as a child? And that's the truth. And I'm going to read that out loud. Facts. And another scripture for all in this chat is love your brother and sisters regardless. If not, then you don't love God. Me too. Don't. I love my mom so much. See, I love this. I hope when my kids get older, even though they tell me this now, I hope that, Natasha, what you were saying about your mom, because I had the opposite. Like, I'm a daddy's girl. I love my mom. She coming here this weekend. But I just can't bite down and say some things or whatever, because it's not going to be, it's not reciprocated or whatever. Kind now, she's really trying her best to live her life according to God's word. Respect it. What is the point? Yes. Yes, I 100% agree. And you know what I used to say all the time? Like, oh, I don't understand the Bible. I don't understand it. I even seen like somebody that broke it down and translated it, the Bible, to like a Gen Z, like talking about uh spin the block and all that. Like, it's too many translations. That was ignorance. Amen. Yes, y'all better, when I tell y'all, and I say this with all sincerity, like, y'all really just made my day. From Andrew sitting up here giving tea as far as like what got him to be a millionaire. I'm so proud of you for that. Like, I'm still trying to process the fact. Like, I can't sit in it. I can't sit in the fact, because I don't want to like block what all y'all already got. Y'all already got stuff going in here without me. I'm just a vessel that has this page going on. But I can't even sit in the fact that you're 29 years old. I was still doing overtime. I was still working 80 hours, Andrew. You get what I'm saying? Like, y'all really made my day. Cuban, you being 50, married. Like, I was getting ready to get you at first, but that's what you do. Like, I feel like when you love your brothers and your sisters, you got to hold them accountable. When you talking about you getting ready to get a divorce. So, like, I was getting ready to get you. I was getting ready to pluck you. But I love that. I love hearing that. Like, it gives me hope, because too many times you keep hearing about the divorce rate in Dallas. Get your wife back. Forget that woman. You know you can't see yourself doing life with nobody else. Go over there, go ahead and set a date night. And that's important. I feel like, and I know you said you was atheist, but we love you too. And actually, the words are yes. And I love that. I'm getting ready to cry again. Like, y'all ain't gonna have me on here crying twice. That's what y'all not getting ready to do. That's another thing. Like, I feel like being a mom has really softened me. Like, I used to sit up there and say that I was a G. I'm not in the streets by no means, but I used to feel like I was so hard body. Like, it would take a lot to break me down. Now I cry over any and everything. Yes. And it don't gotta be all elaborate. Like when I be hearing people, I just sit up there and mind my business because it don't apply to me. But when I be hearing people talking about um oh, he tried to take me to Cheesecake Factory. Now the only reason why um everybody has their preference. I didn't went out on the first date to Waffle House. Okay, like how's your conversation? I can go get coffee. We can go walk in the park because I feel like those first dates, you are genuinely trying to get to know somebody. Like I don't have a lot of time. Okay, I don't have a lot of time. So if I carve out time to go out with somebody, I need you to make the most of my time. I need you to sit up there and intrigue me to the point to where I'm gonna want to see you again. Otherwise, like there's environmental issues and there's growing up issues. You are very thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I just really think that people think the Bible also says, and I'm gonna share this with y'all. The Bible also says that God created everything. Everything was created for good. But people turn it to bad. It's people. So although I could sit up there and name so many things that social media has done for my life, how I've met so many amazing people and all that. There's also a lot of things that it's just like, who raised y'all? You could tell that they was raised by the internet. Thank you. Y'all are all like, let me tell you my thought process. My cousin was on here earlier. I seen that she went live, and I feel bad because I want to go over there and support her channel as well. And if I see y'all pop up, I'm gonna go support y'all as well. Um, that's just my personality. But just I ain't even gonna take that no kind of way. Yes, life has definitely made me informed, Andrew. But I forgot where I was getting ready to go with that. Oh, when I get on live, I literally just be like, I'm just gonna do it. I don't have no agenda. I don't have anything that I'm gonna talk about. I don't have anything. Like what I do on live is what I go in the stores and do. I go in there for the vibes. Okay. Like that's what I was getting ready to go to Walmart for. I ain't been to Walmart because y'all didn't gave me the vibes. So I didn't save money. I didn't put myself in danger by risking having to pick up something that I was not supposed to be picking up in the store. So I needed this, y'all. That is true. I read too. I just got back to reading. Like I love reading, and this year I set a goal of like reading more books. Now I don't like the method in which I read, but you gotta make it work. And when I say that, I like audibles, but I prefer to sit down and read a book. But I don't always have the time to do that. So if I'm in the gym or cleaning around the house, I could put my earphones on and listen to an audible. I'm still getting my goals of being able to read. What you like to read, Cuban? Anything that comes, yes, and I agree with y'all. I definitely feels like anything that comes from God is a test because He's going to test to see what your faith is. Like I also remember that there is so much power in my silence. Like I said, I used to clap back. My mouth used to be filthy. My mouth used to be very filthy, and now I just find so much power in not saying anything. Which we've been on here for a long time. You would not think that but Again, now I try to use my mouth to inform, educate, talk about life experiences to pour help or encouragement to people. Like, and I hope that's what comes across because that's what my goal is to do. Business drama. Okay. Now I will tell you that I like to read drama, like mystery, like suspense and stuff like that. Me too, Natasha. I'm doing a doctorate in age history, and I like history too. I listen to books. Yes, y'all. I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all down, and I say that with all sincerity. But down here in Georgia and Cuban, I don't know if it's like this for you, but why the elementary school get home faster than the middle school and the high school? Now, what if I had to work in the office? You get what I'm saying? Like, why they get home before like my older kids wouldn't even be able to get my youngest off the bus. My girls were in Girl Scouts too. It's not like that up Delaware. I remember having to get my siblings off the bus. It is not like that up in Delaware. That was like a culture shock to me. But it's Friday, so I'm gonna get her off the bus. But she gets home shortly. The bus still don't be coming on time, so I don't know what that look like. Um, it's Friday, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here. But I'm trying to. We gotta resume this. Like I got so much out of this. I don't even. What? When can we come back and join on this? Or on some, it don't even gotta be on mine. Like when can we who going live next so I can make sure that I put it on my calendar to come back? Because I can't take y'all to the store with me. My phone already was losing service. I probably did get your email. I don't have notifications on my hold on. Let me see. Okay, so let me tell you, I got an Apple and all my stuff is hooked up to my cloud. So you see, Google ain't on here. Y'all know I like to be actual and factual. So I'm gonna have to look when I get off of here. I'm gonna have to go into my phone because I can't check on here. I'm gonna have to re-download it, and I ain't got the storage. 5:30 p.m. Woo! It is 12:32 p.m. on the East Coast. Well, we down south. Me and Cuban down south. I'm saying like we right next door to each other. Period, Andrew. Now, are you working on your yacht too? I want to hear about the yacht. Like, it's just so many things that I just turn the notification bell on. Oh, period. I'm getting off of here because every time I say I'm getting off of here, I gotta go do something. I ain't did it yet. But I will talk to y'all later. I will be back on here later. Y'all made my day. Like, I wish y'all could really feel my heart beating because y'all really made my day. Like this is the best live that I've gone live a lot on TikTok, not so much on YouTube, but this is the best live I've ever done in my life. You too. And good luck with your school and everything, Natasha. Well, goddamn. We can make do we gotta plan a we gotta plan a trip, y'all, because we gonna be on Andrew yacht. It's enough of us to fit on your yacht, Andrew. We gotta come cut the ribbon. We gonna cut the ribbon with you. But y'all have a great holiday weekend. If anybody's not able, or if I get busy and can't get on here today, I will definitely be tapped in, locked in with y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Be safe. Be responsible. Y'all take care.